Hello and welcome. So today I continue working on my GOAP algorithm stuff. Last time I was able to read my configuration of like world states and possible goals that we might have and some actions. So we read that using Surday into a plan config for us to work with specific data on struct level. So it's probably a good point in time to just start and applying that config somewhere. So on line 73 we print out the config, which is literally right here. So that's good. So at a specific point of time I would need to create these nodes of places where coming from one state to another after some preconditions are met and post conditions are done. So this node will kind of hold the current state after specific action. And I want to tidy up that slightly. So here I had the notion of ID. I just straight up copy pasted what I had in JavaScript. I actually never used that on JavaScript side, so I'll just remove that. What I didn't add was a running cost. So running cost is like accumulated cost of going through all the previous actions. So every action technically has a cost to perform, and when we go from one action to the next one, we form a node and we store how many costs we passed before, and this is going to determine how expensive the entire action like array is, and we'll sort eventually and find the cheapest cost possible. So let's run, let's add that. So this is going to be running cost, and I like I32, just an integer. I know I will not use like negative numbers, but still I want to have it I32 for the time being. I mean, on JavaScript side, this is just a number, which is a floating or even double, like underneath, under the hood. So our implementation here is going to be at least slightly faster by default using that. So this is not needed when we tried to instantiate our test node. And the running cost for the test thingy is going to be 0. And yeah, I didn't have anything like that here. So let's try and compile it. Maybe I messed up. Alright, it's clean, so it works. Nice, so clean that up slightly. The next thing is trying to build a graph. So let's go ahead and try to make a function execute. What it should potentially take is some sort of oh yeah, our configuration. So our config, and it's going to be of plan config. So literally, I want to have a function similar to this. I'm not going to uh, completely rewrite in a nice manner, like the right code. I want to re-implement what I already had. Okay. So here I had a leaves array, and the leaves array is going to be an array of actual nodes. So what's going to happen is when we recursively go through build graph thing, is going to create a bunch of nodes that contain other nodes, and which in turn have another node inside. And if we reach the final goal, if the solution for goal is found, and it's going to be added to the leaves, which way we can then sort them. So let me do exactly that. Let leaves. So I'm gonna try just and basically rewrite the code in Rust. Okay. So this is going to be an array of G nodes. So it's a vec of G node, and I guess I need to have a vec. Is it the way to write it? I kind of forget always what the syntax is, but let me compile it slightly fast. Okay, so apparently this is correct. Then we have to create a starting node. So a starting node will be the very first thing that we're gonna try and build from, and it's gonna be something with a cost 0 already. So we had our test G node created here. Since it worked, I'm gonna just delete it from here and paste it back here. Let me write it so it formats. Let me double check if I maybe used that. That class, that object. Doesn't look like I did. Nope. So let me try and do that again. Oh, it's gonna complain about the world state. Yep. Okay, get setup. Okay, could not compile planner due to error, and the error is, yeah, exactly that. So it wasn't able to have well, this. So this is the initial world state. So from config, let me delete that first. The world. So config. Why is it not trying to help me? Config dot world state. So that should be enough. Okay, and then we tried to call our build graph. Okay, let me write that again and try to build it, and so it compiles. So this execute function, we should be able to call it from the successful this. So I'm gonna call execute the config we just received from the function above, from the get setup function. Nice. What else we got here? Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna leave that for now. So let's write and oh, got an error. Whoops, that's not supposed to be here. Alright, let's try and do that. Error. A local variable with a similar name exists config. Oh, typo. Alright, build. Still compile. Nice. So our node, where does it print out the node? My node is G. Did it call it? Oh yeah, there's the running cost. I just wasn't able to see it in here because there's a bunch of noise. So yeah, it's gonna be in the way. So yeah, at this point I'm confident enough that it works. So nice, we have our node. So this is not needed anymore. What did we have here? Build a graph. So let's build a graph. I'm gonna make a function build graph. And I'm actually going to translate that from JavaScript. Build graph. So it's going to take a start node, which is a G node. Should be at a reference. Okay, start node. Yeah, let's make it a reference. Of G node. Then there's available goals. Available goals is that array of goals. Think, how did I Oh no, wait. Yeah, an array of those goals. So yeah, it's going to be like this. So I copy, so yank. So the name is going to be the same, so that I don't lose my train of thought. Available. Oh, okay. Available nodes, goals. Bam. Oh no. Why did it? So it should be a vector of goals. I did copy that. Yank. B. So, and that available goals, it's not going to be mutated, but apparently this is going to be a reference. Available actions. Available actions, available actions. So this is just the actions hash map. So I defined actions as hash map of actions. So yank it. Available actions. Good. And the last thing is going to be the leaves. So this is going to be an array of G nodes. And it's going to be mutable reference to vector of G nodes. Yes. So just to be consistent with the Rust rules, so this is going to be snake case. Nice, we got it. So let me just print line. Oh, come on. No. Print line, print line, print line. So I know that we're here, and here build graph. So the very first thing that we did over here in execute is build graph with a start node, which is G. Come on. Oh. Why is it doing that? Whoops. Oh, I got carried away. Okay. So this was... So this was a hash map of string to G action. And leaves were mutable reference to vector of G nodes. All right. Print line here. So build graph. Start node is G. This is available nodes. So we take it from config. Actions. Oh no, goals. And this is config actions and the leaves. So this is an error already because I haven't done this. So leaves should be mutable. Then we pass it as reference over there. And potentially it's going to be compiled. Whoop. So we got a bunch of errors. Expected a reference, found a struct. Come on. What is going on? So I'm still kind of new to Vim. And yeah, I'm failing. So this should be a reference. Write that. So we got 2 errors now. Configs. This is goals. We never mutate that, and we decided to pass it as a reference. So potentially we should have just one error. And what it says is expected type found keyword mute. So apparently I just made a weird leaves. Should this be like this? Immutable reference? Expected at mute found vector. So it's already in the function execution state here. So I should have passed a reference. Nice. So will it compile? Oh, they differ in mutability. Mismatch types. So leaves is Gnode. And this is a reference, expected mutable reference at mute found a reference. I should explicitly write a mute here. Does it make any sense? Alright, it needed to be explicit about mutability in the call. So this is becoming quite intense already. Let me remove that line. Maybe at this point I'm just going to print out the entries and yeah, let me just iterate over the available actions and maybe we'll call it a day. So Rust iterate hash map. Again, I'm going through my JavaScript code and I re-implement it like a word to word. Okay, so I need to have, yeah, I want to have everything here. So I'm going to iterate over my available actions, like here. So this is going to be a key, I guess. So this is action name. And this is going to be action itself. I'm not going to use action itself for now. So many parentheses, like, yeah. So I'm going to just output action name. Okay. And I'm gonna try and build it. It's gonna yell at this, I guess. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't yell at available actions. Because here we are going to copy stuff over. Yeah, we're not actually mutating available actions. At some point we're going to copy it. So this actually should be a reference. Let me do that, and actually let's check if it's gonna yell at me for having multiple references to references, because I want to see if I understand Rust better this way. Yep, could not compile due to double referencing. Okay, and it's still compiled. Well, this is a good place to stop, and the next important thing will be seeing if we can match some preconditions in action. Thank you.